All right, YouTube audience. Let me see if you're here right now. All right, YouTube audience. Let me see if you're here right now. I'm just here a little bit early right now just to get some of the technical things done. So don't mind me. I'm just here kind of hanging out and making sure that everything works before we really get started. And we're looking good. We're sounding good. If you happen to be here early, let me know and just say hi. We will officially start on the hour, but I'm just here now, just doing some of the technical things and make sure it works. I said, hey, forget the timer, forget all that kind of stuff. Let's just jump in and work out the tech stuff right in front of you. Get all these things worked out. All right. So I think we're good. All right. All right. How's it going? Welcome from the Netherlands, Ron. And King's Chamber Ministries here. Sounds great. Timothy Corsi, hello. James is saying, hey. All right. Sounds good, y'all. Looking good, sounding good. That's what I like to hear. Chats are coming in. That's what I like to see. So I guess technically we're there today. Now, something I want to let you guys know, because you are here about 3 minutes early, I'm going to let you get a jump start, right? Because this show, or if you want to call it a show, these weekly workshops are based on the questions and submissions that you send in. You can do them here live in the show too. You don't have to submit them ahead of time, but submitting them ahead of time, especially if you have a video you would like me to review or some graphics in your videos you would like me to review, sending them ahead of time is better so I can have a chance to give you, more in-depth answers and things like that during the workshop. But if you have questions about graphics for your video, put them in the chat right now. And that's what I want to address today. I don't really want to drive the conversation. These workshops are based on what you want, what you're trying to do, and what you're trying to make as far as graphics are concerned to enhance your videos. Yes, I'm the host. Yes, I'm the teacher, but it is your show. You are driving this ship, airplane, whatever you want to drive. You get to choose. And I'll be your chauffeur, so to speak, right? So, but let me know. And let me scroll through real quick. Because I'm using Restream to do this, I can't pop your quotes on the screen. But you see them here in the YouTube chat. But I appreciate you all. Hey, Ellie, thank you for coming. Yeah, you usually watch my recorded videos, but you're here for a live one. That's cool. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm excited to be here, y'all. Having a good time. Hey, Chris, how's it going, brother? We have Radiance by Ratilla Salon and many spas in the house. Bad dinner guest in the house. Okay, that's a cool title. All right. So we have people coming in. I really dig that. Thank y'all for being here. And like I said, I am kind of a stickler for time because I don't like to beleaguer. Whatever the word is, make people feel like they're wasting their time. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat. Things you're working on, things you're trying to do graphically with your videos, put them in the chat, and we're going to rock and roll with this, right? We're going to have a good time. I wish I could put this on my screen. Let me see. Oh, wow. It does go on the screen. Yeah. I am using Ecamm for my camera. I am not using, I'm not in the Ecamm app doing everything, but everything you really see on your screen, I'm bringing through Ecamm right now, except for adding your quotes to the screen. I'm adding your quotes or your comments to the screen through Restream because I'm streaming in two places. So as we know right now, Ecamm does not do that natively. And I could have started it off in Ecamm, then pushed it out to multiple places, but I decided to use Restream and use Ecamm as my virtual camera. So all the visuals that you see today are from Ecamm, except when I put your comments on the screen. So essentially, I am using Ecamm because that's where all the visuals are coming from, but I'm using Restream as the apparatus to push out to Ecamm's YouTube channel and my personal Bradley Teaches YouTube channel. So I just decided to do it that way. There's other methods to do it, but I just decided to go through the Restream interface just to see how it works this time, right? Because it's good with scheduling and stuff like that. So I just decided to do it in there. Yeah. So yeah, I'm Ecamm through and through. Y'all know that. All right, Russ. Okay. So we're at 201 right now. And I think Russ has the official first question. So we get to break the ice with you today, Russ Rosen, when he asks the question. So I'm going to reset the room really quick. So I am Bradley Vincent of Bradley Teaches. So welcome to my first episode, or whatever you want to call this thing, of Ecamm's video graphics workshop with Bradley Teaches, right? So weekly, I'm going to come in here every week on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Central to talk to you all about video graphics, how to make them, how to enhance them, how to use them in your videos, live and recorded. I'm going to answer your video graphics questions, and I'm going to also do video graphics reviews. So if there's things with your graphics that you have done that you're a little bit unsure of and you want somebody to check them out, you can send those to me and I'll review them right here live during my workshops. So don't be squeamish. And I tell people this all the time. Tough love is still love, right? Because I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to help you out because I only want to enhance what you're doing and to empower you to use graphics to enhance your videos, right? So with all that being said, right, I think I have my first official question, and it was from Russ Rosen. And he is asking, can you help me remember how to create an interview overlay with transparent windows? Yes, overlays, right? So we're going to do an overlay. And let me see how I can make his question come on the screen real quick. So forgive me this, y'all, because I'm using Restream. I'm not using Ecamm natively. So I'm trying to kind of figure some things out. Let's see. Hey, RV or TV is in the house. All right. People saying, let's go, guru. Okay. Challenge. Okay, here we go. All right. So here is Russ's question. How can you help me remember how to create an interview overlay with transparent windows, right? So let's do this thing. And we're going to do this right now. So we are now in Ecamm. I'm sorry. I'm so used to Ecamm. We are now in Keynote. So first I'm going to open up a basic presentation. And I usually use basic white for my presentation because there's a telltale sign when you pick no color, and it's a visual cue that you have no color. So that's why I always start off with a basic white presentation. So we're going to click and drag all the way through everything. We're going to hit delete. And because nothing is clicked, we're going to go to format, color fill, no fill. My slide turns black, which makes it transparent. So now I'm a transparent background. Let me knock down the size a little bit. And so Russ's question was, how do I make an overlay with transparent windows? This is going to be so simple, you're going to be mad with yourself that you didn't know this, right? All right. So first we're going to make a shape. And I'm going to make that blue just so we can see it better. And I'm going to fill up my whole slide with that shape. This will be the part of the overlay that you want to keep, right? So now we're going to draw the hole that you want to see things through in your overlay, right? So let's go back to shape again. I'm going to pick a basic rectangular shape and I'll make it green. And now we're going to size it the size we want it. And that's a decent size, right? So now I'm going to click drag through both of these shapes to make sure both of them are highlighted, as you see here. I'm going to go to format, shapes and lines, subtract shapes. and I have just created an overlay. It is that simple. An overlay or a frame or whatever you want to call it, because basically anything you put on top of your video is an overlay. So a lower third is an overlay too. But in this case, what people typically call overlays, right, is basically a rectangle with a hole cut out of it. So all you really have to do is figure out what shape do I want the hole to be cut out of my shape, right? And let me undo this, because say you want 2 windows, because I think he said interview style, right? So I'm going to make 2 windows. I'm going to option, click just to copy. And I'm just doing this. I'm not really measuring and all that kind of stuff, right? Just want to show you basically how to do it. So I'm selecting all the elements. Now, whatever element is on top is going to cut a hole out of whatever is on the bottom, right? So I'm going to go over here to Format, Shapes and Lines, Subtract Shapes. And I've just made a overlay. And as you see here, as I drag it outside of this slide, you see that it's transparent back there, right? Now, here's what's cool that a lot of people miss. Right now, my frame or whatever you want to call this, my overlay, is filled with the color. I can also put a gradient inside of it. And you're like, okay, yeah, gradients are cool, blah, blah, blah. But check this out. A lot of people miss this. I can fill it with an image, right? So let me go here on my desktop and find an image. So check this out. Uh-oh. Go back here, click the shape image fill and do that. So now I have a background image that has a hole cut out of it, right? So if you have a picture of a laptop, a picture of, I don't know, a windowsill, a picture of a cup of coffee, that's an aerial view, you want to cut the hole out and see your face inside of the cup, you can do those things, right? But it's a step to be able to do that. You have to fill the shape with that image, then cut the hole out of it. You cannot cut holes out of images with Keynote, but you can cut a hole in the shape with another shape, right? So there's a kind of a tricky way to get to it. But as long as you make sure that your shape is filled with an image, you can cut a hole in that shape. So Russ, I hope that helps you with how to make a basic overlay, right? So hopefully that helps you with that. And we're going to move on to see if anybody else have any questions. If you have any questions, let me know. And Russ, let me know if that was helpful for you. And let me look through. F.H. Humphreys, I want to give you a shout out real quick. Who are you? Because I noticed the other day on somebody else's live, they asked about making graphics and you jumped in and said, you should go see Bradley Teaches. He'll show you how to do that. And I don't know who you are. Oh, okay. There you go. Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate the shout out and letting people know about me. That's how Bradley Teaches has become what it's become. And appreciate it, because of you guys' support is what makes that happen. So let's see if we have any more questions here. All right, let me see. I already answered that one. Okay, but I'll show it here. So you can use, okay, let me answer it this way. If you're going to do an overlay for picture-in-picture with Keynote and things like that, right? If you're going to do an overlay, so basically you want to make an overlay like what I just showed, where your Keynote presentation shows up behind the transparency, right? If you have an application where you can cut a hole in a shape, you can make an overlay. What I usually use to help people make these is Keynote, because it's simple, it's easy to use, and it has a very shallow learning curve. So I'm going to typically push people toward Keynote because it can do all these basic things with ease. Other programs that are available online, the web-based things, I'm not going to name any of them now because I'm going to start doing tutorials for them, and I don't want them to feel bad because I'm really kind of pushing Keynote right now. But anyway, a lot of these web-based applications don't natively let you cut or subtract the shape from a shape, right? So I can make a overlay, or I can make my rectangle like this, right? If I'm using any other app, I can do this. Any other web-based app can probably do this part, right? It'll let me make a shape to fill the whole screen. It will let me make a shape on top of that shape, right? So here's my window for Keynote, right? So it'll let me do this, but it will not let me do this next part, which is subtract the shapes. It will not let me do that natively. So what I have to do is then take this graphic out of that application and take it somewhere else to cut the hole out of it. And why I want to teach people how to use Keynote, because you can do it natively in Keynote. So as long as your application can allow you to do those things, any application is good. I just like Keynote for simplicity, the low learning curve, and you can do multiple things with it to really enhance your videos. So hopefully that helps with that. Yes, tough love is still love. All right. Hey, DJ Strick in the house. Can I use Canva to create graphics? Yes. And I kind of just spoke to that a little bit with what I just said, right? You want to look for applications that natively let you do a few things, right? If you're going to make any kind of overlay for your video, the application must do these things. Let you export with a transparent background, right? And be able to cut a shape out of a shape. Because if you can't make the window natively in that program, you're going to automatically have to go somewhere else to make what you want or to finish off your graphic. Now, that's fine, but just know that going in. So, as a fact, I know it for a fact, in Canva, you cannot cut a shape out of a shape. You just can't. PowerPoint, you cannot subtract a shape from a shape. Google Slides, you cannot cut a shape from a shape. Now, I'm going to teach all those applications because people use those applications. But part of my teaching process will then have to be, okay, draw your shape as if this wasn't a hole right now, right? So we're in Google Slides and I'll say, draw that shape. And now when we're done, let's bring it out, bring it into Photo P, click on it, delete, and resave, right? You have an extra step. But with Keynote, you don't have that extra step. So that's what you really want to watch out for. I mean, use whatever program is comfortable for you, but you really want to make sure that it can do all the things you want it to do, right? All right, let me see here. Let's keep scrolling. Yeah, I mean, okay, this is a long one, y'all. So let's see right here. Let's show it. Okay, so Carmen is asking about making things look 3D. There's a couple of ways. That's not going to be a specialty of Keynote, right? There's other apps that can do that. Even Photoshop can do kind of an extrude and stuff like that. But that's higher end software that has a cost to it, things like that, right? There may even be some other plugins and things out there just on the web to kind of 3D your shape. Some things you can do. And since we already have Keynote open, let's delete this. So let's go to shape and we'll do a circle. I mean, it's not necessarily 3D, but let me show you. So we have our first circle here, and we're going to make another circle inside of it. So we're basically going to make our own line, right? This is a homemade line. So we can color it how we want to. All right. And we're going to format shapes and lines, subtract those shapes, right? So now we have a line that we can fill how we want to. So we can do a gradient color and all that kind of stuff on a line, right? Okay, so to kind of make that 3D, I mean, putting kind of a shadow-like thing on it. So Option Shift, drag that over, and let's put it under the bottom. Object list, drag it to the bottom. And let's color fill that with a dark gray, right? So you can make kind of a pseudo 3D-esque kind of thing by just duplicating the image and sliding it over to kind of have like some girth to it, right? So that's kind of a pseudo 3D kind of effect where it looks like it's thicker or kind of beveled or thing. So that's a very simple 3D effect that way that you can do, and maybe something like that to kind of help us. So like here, you said it was a gold ring, right? So maybe if I go with 2 tones of yellow, right, or something like that, then I have my kind of gray. I don't want to do black because it'll disappear. Kind of shadow in the back, right? So now you kind of have that ring, even though it's still flat. It kind of has that extra dimension on it. So you can do, something like that, right? So now it kind of looks like it's extruded out. So that might be a way to do that. Yeah. Okay. So good question. And now we're speaking Ecamm, right? Now, because Ecamm has camera overlays, you can do video backdrop backgrounds and just make your camera sit on top of that and do different things like that. So that is definitely possible. And you can do different visual treatments, right? Because you're still stacking. So you have a background video animation of bubbles or whatever you want flying across the screen. You can put then your camera overlays on top of that and then still put an overlay on top of that that may just be the outline frames to give you a nice tight look. And let me see if I can find just a video laying around that I can give you as an example. Let's see if I can find one just in here real quick. See, this is how we workshop, y'all. None of this stuff is really planned out. We just gonna have a good time. Let's see if I can find an MOV file in here that we can use for that. A good background. Let's see what this is. Okay, that is very loud, but we're going to see. So we're going to, okay, so we're going to build this thing right now in Ecamm. So let me go back to full screen and go here. So that's kind of a video with a hole in it. We really don't want that one, right? That's like kind of a cheesy video that I made. But let's see if we want a full video. Let's see. I can't find a video. Here we go. All right, here we go. So I do have a video now. All right, so we go to this video, right? Okay, so now we have this video, right? And then I can always go in and add a camera overlay. So I'll go here, add my camera overlay, right? So now I have a transparent, my camera overlay is here. The animation is running. Let me put it on loop. And now I can still add an overlay on top of this that might be a lower third, right? So let me just pull my animation bar all the way to the top so you can see it, right? So you can stack stuff, right? So you can have an animated background, use your camera overlay, and still have an overlay on top of that, right? So there's a lot of things you can do because camera overlays give you that option, right? And you can have multi-windows, multi-guest, add something to the top up here, down to the bottom, add another overlay. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do to enhance your videos with overlays, right? So yeah, so that is definitely an option. And I'm gonna put a pin in that because I want to explore that for another workshop for sure. Kind of using camera overlays and things like that. Yep. All right. Okay, my Bradley teaches bug that you see here at the bottom, it is actually a MOV file. Because I use Ecamm mostly 95, 100% of the time when I'm doing my live streams or whatever else, Ecamm allows you to have transparent background movie files, right? I prefer that over animated GIFs because they're smoother. You're not going to get any pixelization in it. The resolution is higher, and you can control how many times things rotate. You can turn stuff off, all those kind of things, right? So I prefer the transparent MOV over a transparent background animated GIF. So this is a transparent background MOV file, which I made in Keynote, right? But that's what this is. All right, let's see. Are y'all digging this? Is this good? Is this workshop? You think we can kind of do this week to week and kind of do cool things with this? So let me know if you guys are just digging this kind of concept and the flow of this. And I just want to just kind of jump in and answer questions and kind of do things that you guys are having issues with or questions about. And don't forget, at the very top, you should have saw a comment, the very first comment, and I might have to drop it back in here again. There's a form that's attached to this workshop, right? And you can fill out that form and submit questions ahead of time, and also send me links to your videos or attach screen captures of your video graphics that you're using, and I will review them during the show. So that's another little aspect of the show that I wanted to have available to you all to help you specifically with what you're dealing with your video graphics. So please take advantage of that. Use that form and submit your videos or clips of your videos and screen captures, because I would love to kind of bowl down your alley, so to speak, right? And talk about the specific graphics that you're dealing with for your videos. Yes, let's answer this real quick. All right, good question, Russ. What's the best way to export it for use in Ecamm? And I'm not gonna assume what you mean by it, but I'm gonna talk about different ways to export, right? So let's go back into Keynote real quick and delete these. All right, essentially, because we're gonna skip the animated GIF. Personally, I don't really know if there's a reason to have an animated GIF or not, especially in Ecamm. You can use them. They're not terrible, but I just don't use them. All right, so we're going to talk about the two main formats to export in. So the first format, let's build us another quick overlay. Oh, I forgot to show y'all my secret weapon. I'll show you that in a second. My secret weapon to help you make your overlays. That's another thing that was so simple that you're like, why didn't I think of that? And maybe you have, who knows? All right. So here's an overlay, format, shapes and lines, subtract shapes. So now this is my basic overlay, right? If I'm going to export a graphic, and what I call a static graphic, it's not going to be animated. It's not going to move. What you see is what you get. I'm going to go to File, Export to Images, and then you want to make sure you pick PNG, right? And the export with transparent backgrounds is already clicked. Now, you see black on the slide, but black means transparent in Keynote. If you fill your slide with black, it's black. But if you have no fill and it turns black, it's transparent. That's why I always start with a white slideshow. So when I pick no fill, it turns black, versus starting off with a black slideshow and then you forget to make it transparent or think that it is transparent because it's black and it's not, right? So that's why I always do that. But you want to export PNG, then hit next, save it wherever you want to save it, and you can drag and drop it into your overlays palette in Ecamm, right? So say I have an animation. So let's just put another square on the screen. Let's put a star, all right? We'll make it red. And so first, this looks like a weird flag from some country I don't know about. Who knows? Okay, let's just turn that off just in case. All right. All right, so we have a star on the screen, and we're going to animate the star. Then I'm going to show you how to export that, right? Let's turn that off my face right there. All right, so we're here, and we're going to go to Animate, Build In, And we're going to say, I don't know, let's flip it in. All right. So the star appears, and then we're going to go to build out, and we're going to say move out. So that's how the star leaves, right? So I did a flip in and a fly out. And we're going to say build order so we can see what's going on. And let's preview it. Flip in, fly out, right? So now to export this as a transparent background animation, much like my bubble that you see on the screen, right? When I'm full screen, you're going to go to File, Export to Movie, right? And then if it had multiple slides, you'd have to say how many slides you want, but you want self-playing. These two numbers here puts a delay on your movie animation. So I typically tell people to make both of these 0, right? You want to make it full screen, which is okay because you can resize it in Ecamm. 30 frames per second is good. Here's the kicker right here. The compression type is Apple ProRes 4444, which allows you to export a movie with a transparent background. And we're going to export this with transparent backgrounds. That's checked. Apple ProRes 44, check that box. And I'm going to go ahead and save this one so you can see it actually working in Ecamm. So I'll pick what I wanted on my desktop. Just going to put it on my desktop and put ST for star. Okay, so now let's go back to my Ecamm. Let's find this animation wherever it could be hiding on my junky desktop. Oh, where are you? It's in here somewhere. My desktop is too junky. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay, so here it is here. Drag it in, and there's the star. And let's move my window. Let's play it again. Let's play it again, right? So that is a animated video with a transparent background. And it's as easy as that to export it, to make it and export it from Keynote, right? That's simple. So hopefully that was helpful. Hey, Brother Fulgence, how's it going, man? Yeah, so hopefully that helped you out, Russ. Let me know if that was helpful for you. So we have here. Okay. Is the best way to present a keynote with me on PIP by exporting? No, that is not the best way. There's an awesome feature in Keynote that many people don't know exists. Let me show it to you, right? So let's go back to Keynote. Let's go back to Keynote. And here we are. There's an awesome feature in Keynote that many people miss. It is, if you go to the play drop-down menu and play slideshow in window, what that does is it will play an active Keynote slideshow in a window of its own that you can control back and forth and click on things in an active window, right? What's cool about that is because typically when you say show presentation, right? The default way from Keynote, it takes over all your monitors. And you don't want that, especially if you have a live video stream going on and you can't see anything, right? Because Keynote took over. But the play slideshow and window option allows you to click back and forth through your video in its own window. Then in Ecamm, I share that window, and now I have a live Keynote presentation with my picture in picture. So let me go find a Keynote file real quick that has some multiple slides in it so I can show you the example. And okay, all right. So here's my game shows, right? And I'm going to go to play slideshow in window, and I can make the window bigger, right? So let's just do that. And now I'm going to go back to Ecamm because right now What you see right now is that slideshow playing live in the window, right? So watch this. I'm a picture-in-picture in Ecamm, and the slideshow is running, right? So that's how you can do it. Now, I can make it look better by going up here into Ecamm and saying crop to fill, right? So now I don't see all the extra stuff and all that. I just see my slides. And I'm actively flipping these slides while I'm in Ecamm in a picture-in-picture, and they're working, right? That's how I would do it. Now, what you lose when you do this, if I want you to say you're losing anything, you cannot see your notes in this kind of setup, right? Because there's no, I don't know why they have a play in window option, but don't show the notes in another window so you can see them. I don't know why they didn't do that. But the play in window option is a great way to go, right? So now I'm doing a play in window, sharing the screen in Ecamm, and I am actively going through it through a keynote presentation while I am a picture-in-picture in Ecamm. So that is possible. I would not export it into HTML because it basically now locks that presentation, right? And you can't edit it. You see a misspelled word, you can't jump in and fix it, things like that, right? But because I'm doing a play in window active presentation, because I can always exit out of it, change that, and go back to play in window again, and I'm smooth as silk, right? So yes, I would not export as an HTML. I would do the play in window function from Keynote. So hopefully that helps, Corey. Let me know if that helped you. Hey, Devin, how's it going? All right, Arveer. Okay, appreciate you for subscribing to my channel. Can you show how to download overlay from Keynote? Yeah, you talking about the basic overlay? I can show you how to do that real quick. That's that PNG file, right? Because you want to make sure that the background that you can see through the, oh, and while I'm doing that, let me show you my secret weapon, right? It's another thing. It's not really a secret, but it's a thing that I know will help people create overlays that I think they may be missing out on, right? So, because if you're an Ecamm user, you're definitely a Mac user, right? And there's this keystroke in your Mac, Apple Shift 4, which gives you crosshairs and lets you do a screen capture of a region of your screen. Doing that is the ultimate secret weapon to building overlays. And here's why. As I look at myself now on the screen as I'm talking to you, I am positioned in a certain way that's comfortable for me. And this is where I usually sit on the screen. I see how I move my hands, how big my head is on the screen, stuff like that, right? So if I do a screen capture of myself, I now have a template that I can make overlays on top of, knowing ahead of time how I'm going to look in that overlay. So case in point, let's go back to Keynote once again. Okay, so here we are in Keynote. And this time we're going to go through the whole process of exporting an overlay. So, but first, I'm going to bring out my secret weapon, which is my screen capture. So that's a picture of me on the screen that I made as a screen capture, right? So now I'm going to draw my overlay on top of myself, knowing how I'm going to fit inside that overlay. So I'll get my first shape and I'll draw it out. And I'll change the color just so I can. And down here in my format style, I'm going to change the opacity so I can see through it, right? So now I'm going to get another shape and I'll make that green. And I'm going to draw over the first shape as usual, right? Knowing where I usually fit, knowing if I'm going to have my other bubble pop up, right? All those kind of things. And I can change the opacity on that too, right? To see where the hole is going to be. So I kind of see that's okay. That's a cool look. So now I can delete my secret weapon. I grab the two shapes like I always do. Format, shapes and lines. Subtract shapes. And I'm going to fill this with a different color. I'm going to do it like just loud green, knock the opacity up, right? So now I'm going to export this as a PNG. So File, Export to Images, not a JPEG, but a PNG because I want the transparent background. Next. And I'm going to save this to my desktop. And I'm going to make it dash, 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 dash. I want to be able to find it. BV. All right. Desktop. Because I got a lot of junk on my desktop. All right. So now let's go back to full screen eCam. And I go find my file. And there we go. Right? Because I had my screen capture. I know exactly how I'm going to look in this frame before I even export it. So don't forget that secret weapon. Do a screen capture of yourself. If you have a layout you're doing with multiple guests, just put the blank windows on the screen, right? Screen capture that. Bring that into Keynote. Just drop it on your slide. And if it's a little small, drag it to make it fill the slide. Then draw on top of it to make your frame. Make sure you delete it before you export. And then you know, before you even save it, how it's going to look in your broadcast, right? Can't beat that, right? So yeah, so that's how you export an overlay from Keynote. And let me go back here and turn that off. All right. When people do a timer overlay, do they create the opaque window style? Yeah, that's also done in Keynote, right? So just like I made the opacity lighter when I wanted to see myself through it, that's essentially what I would do for my counter, right? So I'm gonna leave that question on screen while I do this so you guys can know that I'm answering that question. So here we are here. And so if I did another shape, and I'll make it yellow this time, just getting tired of those other two colors. And I'll drag it to fill the whole screen. I'll knock down the opacity on this to 29, right? Knowing that it's transparent behind it, right? So I'm just going to export this as is. So I'm going to say File, Export to Images, PNG, because you want the transparency through it, right? I've changed the opacity to make it lighter. So next, and I'm going to name this a bunch of dashes, T, transparency. Okay, so now this one, let's go back to my main screen. And as you see here, you see me in all my vibrant colors, right? But I'm going to show you what it looks like when I use that overlay now, right? So it's a yellow tint, but you can still see me through it. That's essentially what they're doing. They have a transparent background. They change the opacity and then just export that as a PNG. And now it's a tint to go on top of their video. So that's how they do that. So hopefully that helped you. Let's see. Cool. Yes, I can do that. We're just here hanging, y'all. I'm having a good time here. I have no idea how long I've been here. What time is it? Oh, it's only been 30 minutes. Man, we're gonna have a good time. All right, because I can stay here for an hour or so. All right. So let's see how to apply so that it wiggles. Okay, we can do the wiggle. All right. Let's go back to Keynote. All right. Select that and delete it. And another thing that a lot of people are missing, they don't realize it, is that there are tons of shapes and stuff in Keynote. So let's go to, oh no, let's do a racket. We're gonna make the racket wiggle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a video bug this time, right? So we're gonna make it up in this top right-hand corner, and we're gonna make it wiggle. So when you go to your animate palette, you have three options. Build in, which is basically how do I want that item to appear in my video. Build out, which is how do I want that item to leave my video. Then you have this other option called action, which is The object that's there, I don't want anything special to make it appear. I don't want anything special to make it leave. I just want to do something to the object as it sits on the screen. So that is the action palette. And there actually happens to be, it's not called wiggle, but it's called jiggle, right? And there's the jiggle, right? There's a jiggle option. You can set how long it jiggles. You can set the intensity of the jiggle like that. I guess it's more of a wobble than a jiggle, right? So if I set it to large intensity, there you go. And that's kind of whatever. All right. So that's it, right? And now it has an animation, and I export this as a transparent background video, Apple ProRes 4444. And then when I upload this into Ecamm, it'll just sit in the corner and jiggle, right? And it will rotate if you want it to rotate. And you can actually have it sit for a little while and do nothing. So all those things are options. So I'll click this, go to build order, and I can say here, right? So ping pong automatically jiggles. So instead of start, now the on click doesn't matter when you make a video. That only matters when it's a presentation. So kind of ignore that a little bit, because as soon as you load it, it's going to do whatever you said. So you can kind of forget that on click. But what you want to do is say after transition. So after this video starts, I want it to jiggle after 10 seconds, right? So as you watch the preview now, it's going to sit for 10 seconds, then jiggle. See that? So that's how you set it so it only jiggles sporadically. It'll sit, jiggle, sit, jiggle, right? So you can do that. Then when you export this as an Apple ProRes 4444 transparent background video, you have your jiggling option object. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if that answered your question. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, and I'll be here weekly, y'all. So if you have questions, please bring them. If you have some things you're working on throughout the week, you want to workshop out together, just bring them. I'm here to serve y'all. What's up, Marty? Marty said he'll be here each week. I'm digging that. Appreciate that. Just subscribe to my channel. Appreciate that, y'all. How did I make the MOV file? Yeah, let's jump back in. Let's make this racket an MOV file. We can do that real quick. So go back to Keynote. And so I have my animation. That's what makes the movie a movie, right? Something has to be moving to make it a movie. So I have my ping pong racket animation. I'm going to go to File, Export to Movie. So File, Export to Movie. And I only have one slide, so that's fine. I always do next slide and next build. I always make those zeros. Now here is the spot you want to pay attention to. Apple ProRes 4444 as the compression type. You got all these different types. Let me show them to you, right? But if you want transparency, it must be Apple ProRes 4444, and this box has to be checked, right? So I'm gonna go to next, and my desktop, let's just name this one R for racket. My desktop is very junky. All right, so that is saved now. Go back to my main window, and here's the racket. And as you see, it will sit there for 10 seconds, then it will jiggle. And I have it on not rotating. So after the jiggle, the animation essentially stops, right? But if I set it to rotate, which I can do in Ecamm, it'll just run through itself over and over and over. So in this case, it will sit for 10 seconds, jiggle, sit for 10 seconds, jiggle. And that's what would happen if I rotated it. But there we go. All right. So that's how I export the not animated, the transparent background MOVs, right? All right. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate the kind words. Cool. Glad you like it. That is why I'm here. I am digging it because y'all are digging it. We're having a good time, right? Let's see if we have any more questions. Okay. Let's see what he says or she. Let's see what the bad dinner guest says. Does that mean that it is framed as 16 by 9 or are you resizing and placing the MOV bug? Yeah, what I am doing is I am saving it as a 16 by 9 transparent background movie, right? And only that top corner has some stuff going on. Now, you can make custom slide sizes, which I typically do. If I'm making a bug, which is usually people call them logos or whatever else, but if I'm making a video bug, like the bug you see here on my screen now, right? I even consider this a bug because it's a constant reminder that you're on Bradley Teaches video, right? I made this bug the exact size I wanted it. So that video is a custom slide size in Keynote, right? And typically when I do bugs, I'll make the bug on a 800 by 800 square slide. And I make it as big as I can inside of that square because I'm gonna leave this with you. Empty pixels are still pixels, right? So that racket I just showed you, I can only get it as far across the screen as those empty pixels bump the side of the screen, right? Because empty pixels still matter. Now, a new feature of Ecamm that's coming out is that you can drag things off the screen. So it almost makes that a moot point to have something almost fill up the screen to be able to move it around freely. So they're working, I think there might be a feature now, I can't remember, but you can drag things off the screen and just put the piece of it you want to show. Yeah, but usually when I do my bugs, I'll make it on a custom slide. And let's do that real quick, right? I just want to show you. I mean, I don't want to leave y'all hanging with nothing. So we're back here in Keynote and we want to go to document. So you see format, animate, document. Go to document, slide size, custom slide size, and I'm making 800 by 800. Right? And let me knock down the size of this so we can see it on the screen. Okay. And what I typically do for something like this, then I make my item fill up as much of the slide as I can because empty pixels are still pixels, right? So I can only get this close to the top of my video screen. I can only get this close to the bottom of it. I can only get this close to that right edge. And I can only get this close to the left edge, right? So even if I size it down, these empty pixels are still pixels. And when that bumps the edge of my video screen, that's as far as I can go. So in this kind of scenario, when I make a bug, I usually make it on a square slide like this. When I make other lower thirds and things, because I'm usually have an exact placement where I want them, putting them on a 16 by 9 ratio slide is okay because I don't really want to move my lower third any higher than where I design it. So it's kind of a preference call, right? But then, like I said, Ecamm's new feature to be able to drag elements off your screen makes that empty pixel space thing a moot point, right? Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that, man. It means a lot to me you say that. All right, let's see. How do you make a camera overlay custom? All right, let's do that. So we're in Ecamm now, and I cannot do a demo screen, so I'm just going to describe it to you, okay? So in Ecamm, in your overlays palette, you want to make sure you have your overlays palette open, and you want to click on the little camera icon in your overlays palette, which will put a camera on your screen, right? Now, when you right click on it, you're going to get a pop-up box that gives you the option to lock the overlay in place, hide the overlay, which I don't know why you want to hide it, and edit the overlay. And when you click that on your drop-down box, you have the option to pick whatever camera you want and you have the option to pick a shape. So right now it's widescreen. I can pick classic 4x3. I can pick square, which is literally, I guess, 4x4, a square, right? Instead of 4x3. I can make round. I can make tall, and I can do custom shape, which means I make it whatever shape I want to, right? So those are your options. And let's see. Okay, let's see this real quick. Maybe if I drag my, see if I can do this real quick. Hopefully I won't create a moire pattern. Let's see what happens. Oh no, it's not going to do it. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, when you right click on the video screen, you get multiple options of what to do with that video, right? So right click on it. You're going to get a little drop down that says lock overlay, hide overlay, edit overlay. You pick the one that says edit, and then it'll let you pick different shapes and pick different cameras that you want inside your overlay. All right. So hopefully that answers your question, Lavoy. And hopefully I'm saying your name right. All right, Russ. Okay. He said, fantastic. Thank you. So I'm assuming that's with me answering his question. Don, thank you for being here, Don. All right. I can't believe I didn't think to look for that as a. Yeah, for that animation. Now, what's funny though, you can animate on a path. So that is also possible, right? I'm gonna show you that in another workshop. We'll hold on to that one for next time. But yeah, you can animate on a path and things like that too. Cool. Oh, cool. I got a super chat. I have no idea how that works because on my channel, I'm not eligible for super chats yet. So I don't even know how that works. But I appreciate you doing a super chat. I'm sure Ecamm will pass that along to me in some kind of way. Appreciate you though. All right. So hey coach, appreciate you, man. You all need to go to Coach's channel and just, if anything, if you want something to make your day, just go listen to his intros to his videos and it'll make you feel better about yourself. Trust me. Go to Coach's channel and just listen to his intros when you need a pep talk for your day, and you will be good to go after that. How you doing, Rob? Hey, you're never late until I hit end broadcast, so it's all good, man. Happy that you're here. Appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words, Ed. Appreciate that. Cool. See what else we got. Hey, Shelly, showing some love. Appreciate that. Super Shelly saves the day. Appreciate y'all for being here. All right, y'all. I think I have gone through all the questions. Let me know if you have another question. And do not forget to use, let me see if I just paste this in. Okay, that's the form. I'm adding the form to the chat. Do not forget to drop by the form. Use the form to submit your graphics to me, even if it's a thumbnail. If it's a thumbnail, you're trying to work on to make better thumbnails, or how do you create this thumbnail with Keynote or whatever software I might be using at the time for Ecamm. Drop it in that form, right? If you want to make sure your questions get answered, drop them in the form, and I'll get them ahead of time, and I'll have them ready to rock and roll. You'll be the first one in the order that you send them. And then just like today, right? You can always come here live and ask your question live, and we'll workshop it out live right here on the spot. I love the challenges, right? I love you asking questions live. Then I get to show you guys live how we fix it. That just, adds to the I guess potential drama of me messing up something. So you can always look forward to that too. But I appreciate y'all for coming out. We had a good time today, y'all. It has been awesome. Thank you for giving me 54 minutes of your day. You don't know how much that means to me. And I just appreciate your time with this. So I'm going to look through the comments one more time because I know there's a little bit of a delay. And let's see. Appreciate that, bad dinner guest. Appreciate that. A good quote from a bad dinner guest. Appreciate you, though. Thank you so much for being here. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna give one last call for questions or comments, and then we're gonna call it a day. Appreciate you, Russ. Appreciate you, Rob. I meant to hit Russ, but I clicked on somebody else because they were just flying in here. My next stream will be next week, same bat time, same bat channel. I'm going to come back here next week in the Ecamm YouTube channel and the Bradley Teaches YouTube channel. I will be live here, and I'm going to use air quotes, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central. So use the form if you want to. You don't have to, but use the form to submit your questions, submit your video clips, submit your screen captures of your video graphics, and I will workshop them and review them live during the show. And I plan on doing this. I may, at some point, do some Bradley Teaches live broadcasts just on my channel. I don't know. I like this format. I like serving the Ecamm audience. But if you're using other software, I want to serve you too. So let me know what kind of software you're using, and we can work that out. But I'll be live here every week on Tuesday, 2 p.m. Central. And look for pre-recorded videos on my channel, which are tutorials. I'm expanding the graphics packages that I will be showing people how to use now because of popular demand. I know people are using Canva. Some people are using PowerPoint, but some people are using it. Some people are using Google Slides. Some folks are using Easel, Crello, whatever you want to call it, all this other stuff. I'm going to start doing tutorials on those other software packages too. I'm going to come out of the keynote cave, so to speak, and start teaching some other software too. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. So look out for those. They are coming. All right. Thank y'all. I'm glad you had a good time. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Oh, Tech in the City. We got somebody else that's from Hawaii. Okay. Appreciate you. Mahalo to you. All right. Outworld Magazine. Thank you for coming. And finally, who gets the last quote? Will these be available as recordings? The plan is I will keep them on the Bradley Teaches YouTube channel. I'm unsure if Ecamm will keep them on their channel. So yes, this will be available on the Bradley Teaches channel indefinitely. I'll probably just have a playlist called Live Workshops. So I'm working on that, but I have no plan on deleting them. I don't want to promise that they'll always be there, but I don't have a plan on deleting them. So I just want you to have that resource to be able to look through them. Yeah, so as of now, they won't be deleted. And if Ecamm decides to delete them, you can find them on the Bradley Teaches YouTube channel. So they will be there. All right, y'all. I think that is it. The last call. Appreciate all y'all's comments. It has been an awesome day. Thank y'all for hanging with me. All right. As I close, so until next time, I am Bradley Vincent of Bradley Teaches, better known as Alana's Pawpaw. Be blessed, be free, be good to yourselves, be good to one another. See y'all next week. Drop by the channel for tutorials. See y'all soon. Bye-bye.